Yo, what's up guys? Kai here, and welcome back to A Nightmare on Doma Street, Part 3, Dream Warriors. One of the best entries in that series, but what do you say we continue following Cyan through his nightmare, and see if we can't help him out a little bit. I kinda feel bad for the guy after all he's been through, you know? He's tormented by grief over what happened to Doma earlier in the game, and probably feels responsible in a way. That's a lot of grief to carry around, and I don't know how I would handle it. Thankfully, I've never lost everything and everyone I care about. But I can see why he would be sympathetic towards Lola now. It makes sense. Whoa. There's something adorable about a Moogle in a Magitech suit. Funny thing about Magitech suits is that in the game's code, it is actually considered to be a status effect on your party members. Oh, that's weird. Gogo doesn't have a Magitech command. Huh. I wonder if that's because he doesn't have a fight command. Well, it's no big deal. I could always just mimic whatever action happens before his turn. All of the enemies here are very easy. Just go with Bolt Beam and you can't lose. If you did bring Terra or Celeste in your party, then at this point they would both have the full list of Magitech commands at their disposal. Anyways, this enemy here, Io, if you are playing newer versions of the game and you plan on going to the bonus dungeons that were added, the Dragon's Den or the Soul Shrine, then this might be a good rage for you to pick up for Gaw because it gives you access to Flare Star, which deals fire elemental damage to all enemies, and it bases its damage on their level. And I don't want to say all of the enemies in those bonus dungeons, but a good chunk of them do have really high levels. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Are we going in a circle? Yeah, the gimmick here is if you keep going forwards, you will be stuck in an endless loop. So you actually have to go backwards in order to progress. I know the first time I played this game, that tripped me up. I was stuck here for probably close to an hour, I want to say, just going in circles over and over and over again. Ah, real dick move by the programmers there. Alright, got him. And if it wasn't obvious, the damage from your Magitech abilities is based off of your character's magic stat. Hey Cyan, wait up! Damn it! And they died. See? Oh, we're alive. Can't really die in a dream world, can you? Well, no, the body can't survive without the mind, right, Morpheus? Yeah, that's the idea. Are we even able to save him? Well, it wasn't his fault. How was he supposed to know that Kefka would poison everybody? Funny thing about that whole scenario is that everybody died at the same time. Like, did everyone drink the water at exactly the same time? Anyway, so the monster behind this is Rex's soul. He's taking advantage of him. Giggity. Ah, okay. Well, I would if you would stop talking to us. Okay, let's go ahead and use a tent here. And now that we're back in Doma, we need to go to the throne room. Ah, new enemy, Suriander. I mentioned them in the last episode, I believe. So in this particular battle formation, I do want to use level 4 Flare because both the Suriander and the Samurai are susceptible. And you know what? Because you made him an imp, let's go ahead and give him an imp halberd. I suppose I should thank you for this. So yeah, level 4 Flare, that's the best way to handle those two enemies, and then you can just finish off the Barbie when she's alone. A good bio works wonders against her, or you could throw ninja stars, you could jump. Either way, very easy. Okay, now let's go to the throne room. And before we go any further here, I want to go ahead and give Marvel Shoes to Go-Go. We're all healed up and ready to go, so let's take on Rex Soul. Well, I got something you could eat. Alright, it's boss time against Rex Soul and the Soul Saver. What do you mean, possess my body? When we're about to die. Well, that's partially true. Basically, how this fight works is Rex Soul will possess one of your characters, and you don't know which one it is. There are no physical indicators whatsoever, like you don't take any damage periodically, you don't lose control over any of your characters, and what you're supposed to do is let one of your characters die, usually by killing them yourself. That's the quickest way. And if they're the character that was possessed, then Rex Soul will no longer have a host, and he'll become visible again. And it's at that time that you can actually deal damage to him for a few turns before he possesses another one of your character. Now you could go through all of that, or you can just cast X Zone and end the battle immediately. That's the method I like to use because it's quick, it's easy, and I don't have time to deal with his bullshit shenanigans. Because I don't have X Zone, however, I will be using the Osteosaur Rage, and that should finish the battle in one go. Game. Okay, apparently it wants to be a little finicky, so we're gonna try this again. Oh, come on. Eventually, it will work. But if you are doing this the hard way, I would recommend after you kill one of your party members to reveal Rex Soul. Don't revive your dead party member right away, because when he repossesses you, he'll only have 2 possible targets, and it narrows the options down a little bit. That way you only have 2 people to kill and not 3. There we go, Go-Go. I knew you could do it. The only downside to using X Zone is that you don't get the pod bracelet for defeating him, which you can then go turn into a hero ring back at the Coliseum. But it's no big deal because you can just buy hero rings from the auction house in Jador, so whatever. Yeah, man, don't beat yourself up over it. There was nothing you could do. But he didn't do anything. He just laid there on his ass and let us take care of the boss. Yeah, see? Even he knows. Oh, hey, there's a Magicite shard there. Hey, alright. Basically what that means is now Cyan has access to all of his sword techs. Even if you don't learn them naturally through levels, you can just do the side quest here and he'll learn all of them, well, right here. Let's see, Stunner is a multi-targeting attack. It hits all enemies on screen, and it might cast Stop. It is based on his magic stat for its damage. Not very good considering his magic stat is Balls. Quadra Slice is just like Quadra Slam, only the difference is it will actually bypass physical defense. That one's pretty good. And Cleave will inflict instant death on all enemies, and it's actually fairly accurate. It's not too bad, just takes forever to charge. And the game doesn't tell you, but you also get another Aura Katana for doing this little side quest. I may or may not go turn that into a Pearl Lance back at the Coliseum. I don't know yet. Anyways, if we come up here to the throne room, we get the Alexander Magicite. Alright. Inflicts holy elemental damage to all enemies when you summon him, and that's how you learn the holy spell. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot to show off 2 little cutscenes here in the dream world. You know what? I want to show that to you guys. I will be right back. Alright guys, we're back, and these scenes are very small. They don't mean anything to the story or the events here, but I still want to show them off because they're kind of cool and they're easy to miss. Fencer or Samurai? Speaking of fencers, Red Mage was just revealed for Final Fantasy XIV's next expansion. Looks pretty awesome, but I'm still waiting for that juicy Samurai reveal. Anyways, this one is over here. Ah, patience, young grasshopper. See, all you gotta do is correlate something to violence, and children are all over it. Anyways, those are the only 2 optional scenes that I know of for this part, and like I said, they don't change anything and they don't mean anything, but they're still pretty cool. So alright, now I will meet you outside of Doma in the real world and get ready for the next area. So I'll be right back once more. Okay, next up on the agenda is a treasure hunting trip to the Phoenix Cave. If you go back to the rich man's house in Jador and examine the portrait of the Emperor 3 times, you'll find a secret letter that talks about a treasure he hid here in the mountain shaped like a star. So let's have a look around and see if we can't get our hands on that treasure. Now for this dungeon, we will once again be splitting up our party into 2 groups. It's too bad we don't get to use the split party feature more often during the game. Oh well. Alright, so my first party will be Terra, Shadow, Edgar, and Sabin. My second party will be Celeste, Mog, Strago, and Gaw. And I've already taken the time off screen to equip both parties, and I'll go over my setup here in just a second. If you want to go back to your airship, you can use that hook over there. Alright, let's start with party number 2. So the big things you want to bring to this dungeon are damage boosting accessories and protection against fire elemental attacks. I did give the experience egg down there to Gaw because the enemies in this dungeon give a ton of experience, and I want to try and get his level up as high as I can. The Pearl Lance on Mog will be really good because a few of the enemies here are weak to Holy. And I gave the ribbon to Celeste because she is my dedicated healer, and a few of the enemies here can inflict zombie and stop and some other nasty status ailments on your parties, and I just want to make sure she's safe. Alright, party number 1. Pretty much identical to my other party. You want fire protection, damage boosting accessories. Edgar is going to be an Imp Goon. I did give the red cap to Shadow, not only for the extra HP, but because the red cap will boost his strength and speed more than a circlet would. And Sabin I gave the Atlas Armlet and the Offering to because he is going to be in fight mode. I want to make sure he's in the front row there. Okay. And Edgar needs to be an Imp, Kappa. Now the thing about the Offering is, I talked about it briefly, and I did mention it's my favorite accessory, but I never talked about why. And what the offering does, essentially, is gives your auto attack 4 hits per round, or allows you to attack 4 times in a single round. What the game doesn't tell you is that it also makes your auto attacks unable to miss. It's the same as if you were to equip a sniper sight. It gives you guaranteed accuracy, which is really good. And it also, it's what I like to call a smart relic, meaning if your first 2 attacks deal enough damage to kill the enemy, the offering will no longer force your character to keep wailing on the same enemy. You'll target other enemies instead, so as not to waste your remaining attacks. Unless, of course, there are no more alive enemies, then it'll just target something at random. Now, along with these good factors are some bad factors, and this is why the offering is my favorite relic in the game, because the programmers actually put some thought into it to try and balance this thing out, because this thing later on is just, it is broken and it's obscene. So what the game doesn't tell you is that the offering also reduces all of your physical damage by 50%, just like the Genji glove, but this does carry over to things like sword techs, tools, blitzes. Any physical damage will be cut in half if you are wearing the offering. So you pretty much only want to use this to augment your fight command. It also prevents you from getting critical hits. Even if you're using a weapon that uses MP for guaranteeing critical hits, won't work with the offering. It negates procs from weapons, such as those elemental weapons, or anything that casts a spell whenever you attack. Now, there are a few exceptions to this. Weapons that inflict instant death when you attack still work, which is really good because now you have 4 chances to instantly kill your opponent at 25% chance each. You got a fair chance of killing whatever it is you're attacking. The Tempest is also immune to this. You can still proc a Wind Slash, but as amusing as it is to sit there and get 4 Wind Slashes or even 8 Wind Slashes in a row, the damage is very lackluster. It's not worth it. And on that note, one of the more popular combinations is to give a character the offering and the Genji glove, which allows you to attack 8 times in a single round, but again, the damage really isn't worth it unless you're a really high level. But it does look flashy, it's cool, but I'm going to stick with the Atlas Armlet for Sabin. And I believe that pretty much covers the offering in detail. So let's get started on this dungeon. We don't have a whole lot of time left, so I want to make as much progress in here as we can. Okay, here we go. New enemies, Chaos Dragons. They have a lot of HP, but very little defense, and Aquilas up top. They are weak to ice. So let's get a good Ice 2 from Celeste going on them. Arrow from Strago. And we'll go with... Ninja. The only problem I have with blue magic in this game is that there aren't very many good single target options for damage. A lot of good multi-targeting spells, but when you're fighting just one enemy, you don't have a lot. But that's okay, these guys are pretty easy. There we go. Ooh, Ice 3 from Celeste. Very nice. That's actually going to come in handy in this dungeon a lot. Let's go to the left first. Pick up this God damn it. Let's pick up these spikes up the ass. Sure, why not? And we lost 400 HP. Holy hell. That's actually significant. Usually, traps in RPGs either deal 1 point of damage or 50 or, something so insignificant that you don't even care. Man, 400 though. Gotta watch out for that. It's dangerous. More new enemies, Tricksters. Let's go with Osteosaur. Jump. Really? That missed all of them? Whatever. And let's go with Ice 3. They don't make traps like they used to. No, not like in the old Dragon Warrior games where those blue and white striped barrier tiles. Oh man. 60 damage per step. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, in a game where by the time you fight the last boss you only have 200 or maybe 250 HP, yeah, 60 HP you lose per step is a lot. And if I'm not mistaken, you could actually die from it. Yeah, games nowadays, once you hit 1 HP, you just kind of sit there and you can't die from traps or environmental damage. But no, not in those old Dragon Warrior games. No, those games are of a different breed. Definitely don't make them like they used to. And again, gamers aren't what they used to be back then. Yeah, we were hardcore back in the day, now that I think about it. Alright, let's hit the switch. And pick up a wing edge, and then just come over here. And switch to party number 1. We're going to be switching back and forth quite a bit in this dungeon. Okay, new enemies, Phase. These guys are weak to ice. So let's get Ice 2 on them. And they like to counterattack with Blowfish quite a bit. And they have around 4,500 HP, so let's try to take them out as quickly as we can. Alright, there we go. They can also inflict the stop status on your characters. Gotta watch out for that. This place is also really annoying if you're trying to maximize your level gains from espers, because you're constantly switching back and forth. By the way, that box in the upper right is empty, so don't waste your time with it. Another new enemy, Necromancer. Those guys are weak to fire, and they can inflict the zombie status on your characters, so you want to take them out quickly. Thankfully, they have very little HP, so they should go down relatively easily. They're also weak to Holy, and when they die, they attempt to cast Quarter on you. Every enemy in here is just really damn annoying, and that's why this dungeon is often regarded as one of the more difficult in the game. Especially if you come here early on, it's just a death trap. Come on, kill this guy, please. Thank you. Probably should heal up after that one, man. Let's go down here through a secret passage to pick up a warp stone. Nice. You know, it's one thing to open a treasure box, take what's inside, and then go on about your business. No big deal. It's another thing completely to close the box and then trick people who come in after you in thinking there's an item inside. Like, who the hell does that? That's just cold, man. But I suppose some people just want to watch the world burn. Those guys are also weak to Holy, if I neglected to mention that earlier. Ah, looks like we're inside of a volcano with liquid hot magma. Box to the left is also empty, so we're going to come over here, hit the switch, and then call it quits. But what other perilous traps await us in this place? And can we get our hands on this secret treasure, whatever it is? We'll just have to wait until next time to find out. So until then, as always, thank you so much for watching. My name is Kai, and I'll see you next time.